What's up, guys? Sports Estimators back again with another video. Today we'll be going over NFL Week 9. We will also be doing a mid-season MVP, if mid-season awards if the season were to end today. So we'll be going over MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Coach of the Year, and Offensive Player of the Year. And before we start, teams on bye this week: Browns, Jets, Eagles, Bucks. Also, my record for so far, 71, 1-47.
I got 76 right. I'm not sure what my losses would be. I'll give that to you guys in just a second here.
It'll probably be 42.
76, 44, and
44 and 1.
Yeah, 76, 44,
Damn.
1.
So tap in and make sure you guys share our page with your guys' coworkers, cousins, friends, family. We don't sell picks. We just give them out for free weekly.
Insights
as well.
And then it's up to you guys to decide what you guys think. You know, maybe you guys see our angle, but then, you know, disagree with it, and that's cool too. We're here to hopefully try to help give you guys some insight that you guys might not have, you know, had access to or had taken the time to look into. And as always, at the time of this recording, Thursday night football is currently going on. The Baltimore Ravens are currently beating the Dolphins 21-6. So we'll also be giving you guys updates on that game. But let's go ahead. What do you say we go ahead and get started with Sunday's games? First one up, Bears at the Bengals. Who do you got in this one?
I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I got the Bears. Who you got?
I got the Bears too, but for me, I kind of struggled with this one because I was like, I feel like Cincinnati has been playing better as of late. And last week, that they had a crazy meltdown. They should have beat the Jets. The Jets, to your credit, you called that one. They were going to get their first win. But I kind of see that as like they're going to be upset that they let that game go away and they're going to be at home. And the Bears are dealing with injuries. I'm not sure if the people that are currently questionable for this game are going to end up playing. So definitely keep an eye on those injuries. I think I saw DeAndre Swift was questionable. DJ Moore as well is questionable. So, you know, if those guys are missing those players, then, you know, I might be inclined to like change the pick. But obviously, since we're recording this on Thursday, I'm going with the Bears too, though. Yeah,
and I think why I just automatically picked the Bears was because what's his name? Damn, I always forget his name. The quarterback.
Caleb Williams?
No.
Joe Flacco?
He's hurt. He's playing hurt. So
yeah, that's true. Yep. And then so these next three games all have a spread of 9.5 points or more. So I'm assuming you got the Lions, the Packers, and the Chargers.
Yep, I do. The only one that I have that could potentially just cover the spread, but they're going to end up losing, is Carolina. I think Carolina could cover a 13.5 spread.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that either. But yeah, I definitely think Detroit over the Vikings, Green Bay, Packers over the Carolina Panthers, and the Chargers over the Titans. And I don't think it'll be particularly close, and I don't think you do either. So in an effort to cut down on some time, since we want to get to some other stuff, we're just going to go ahead and, you know, obviously give those picks and move on to the next game, which I think potential upset alert, maybe. Falcons at the Patriots. Who do you like in this one?
Atlanta is shaky week to week. You don't know what version of Atlanta you're going to get because, you know, a couple weeks ago, Atlanta just beat the Bills, and then you move forward a week, and then they lose to Miami, and they lost to the Niners, which that one, okay, I'll give it to the Niners, but then how do you lose to the Dolphins and Tua Tagovailoa?
Yeah.
And the Patriots are actually legit. Drake May, he is legit. I could see Patriots kind of winning that division ultimately.
Yeah, I wouldn't at this point. I wouldn't be like shocked if that happened.
Yeah, I mean it's a new Patriots. It's a new era of Patriots, because you guys went from the Tom Brady era to that you guys what is this team? It was 9-day difference after he left, but now it's like a new era of Patriots. So I really like this Patriots team. I don't think it'll be close at all though.
Really?
Yeah.
I got the Patriots in this one, but I think for the Falcons will cover the spread. All right, let's move on to the next one. San Francisco 49ers at the Giants. Who do you got in this one?
I got the Giants, man.
Really?
Wait, but hold on. First, a rip to my boy Scatterboo. That was a crazy injury. Prayers up for my boy. Not rip, but prayers up. It was, I don't know if it's the Sports Estimators, because every time we hype somebody up, something unfortunate happens, either an L or an injury. But
you gave him your issues.
I know, man. But Jesus Christ, did you see the replay on like how it looked?
Yeah, I saw like his. Looked like that. Remember that? Who's that Cruz Azul player?
Oh my God, Andrade.
That was like the first gruesome injury I remember seeing.
Yeah, that
ever
was
live.
nasty. But yeah, man, praise up for him. But I think Jackson Dart's gonna find a way to win. Man, just put that team in rice, bro. Cause freaking
Malik
Neighbors first, and then Scatterboo. Please, NFL gods, I pray, please don't get my boy Jackson Dart.
Yeah, that.
But I think the Giants are gonna end up winning this game. I think that San Francisco's team is just too beat up.
Yeah, honestly, I'm going with the Niners because I feel like I've doubted them so many times with injuries, and they still find a way to win. And honestly, I was still thinking about picking the Giants, but for me, ultimately, I just think there's just going to be too much on Jackson Dart for this game. So that's why I went with the Niners. But should be a good game. I feel like it's going to be pretty competitive.
I think so too. And also, I'm also picking the Giants because the 49ers last week when I picked them to win, they chalked my shit. Yeah. On the last leg, bro. The last morning, like the morning games on Sunday, they were the one that chalked my shit. So... it's personal now between me and the Niners. Actually, it's always been, but now it's even more so.
Yeah, when a team chalks it for you, or loses you money, you're salty for a while. But speaking of being salty, next game we got the Indianapolis Colts taking on my Pittsburgh Steelers. Last week I went with my heart and I picked the Steelers, and this week I'm going with my head. I'm going with the Colts in this one. The Colts have been the most consistent team from start to finish. They're favored by 3.5 points. I'm tempted to pick the spread just because, hear me out, this is the most Steelers thing to do. Just when they get our hopes up, like, damn, maybe we can actually amount to something significant this season, they just crush our hopes. But then just when we're like getting ready to like completely write them off, they have this improbable win. So they're at home again. Mike Tomlin at home against a home underdog against the spread has the best record in the league. So I'm tempted to pick the Steelers to cover that, but I'm definitely not picking them money line. I'm going with the Colts in this one.
Okay. I'm not mad at it because definitely like how you said, Steelers at home under Mike Tomlin. Against the spread, that's almost automatic. But I don't think this is the case. I think this is one of the Colts teams that are legit. And Jonathan, I don't see you guys' defense stopping Jonathan Taylor, who's on a tear. Yep. I don't see you guys stopping any of their wide receivers. And your guys' secondary is super lackluster to what we predicted with Jalen Ramsey.
The whole defense, honestly.
Yeah.
I think all the of our star defensive players, they haven't been up to par with what we expect from them.
Even including TJ Watt.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Is it TJ Watt?
Yeah, TJ Watt. He's been playing well. It's not like he's been playing bad, but he hasn't been as dominant as he is. Same thing with Cam Hayward. Jalen Ramsey in spurts, but he hasn't been, as consistent. So we'll see if the Steelers defense can finally step up and expect them to be the unit that many thought that they would be at the start of the season. But definitely is not the time this week going up against probably the best offense in the league. And
that's actually the Cowboys, but we'll move on.
Moving on to a defensive battle. We got the Denver Broncos at the Houston Texans. Who do you got?
I got Denver last week, seeing and gave my team belt to ass. This Denver's team is also legit.
What was it, 44-24?
Yeah, 44-24. But I will. We'll get to that. We'll get to that. We'll get there. Let's get there. For now, though, Denver is legit. Bo Nix, what a quarterback! These white quarterbacks are starting to dominate the league. We're seeing a rebirth of the early 2000s. The only thing with Houston, though, I don't think their offense has enough for this Denver defense.
Yeah.
So
Pat Surtain will be out, though, so I think that makes it more interesting.
But they actually have a cold white boy.
He's good, but watching the game last week, he has the most pass interference calls out of everybody in the league.
He has so many penalties, bro. And I think in that game alone, he almost had like damn near double-digit flags on him.
Yeah.
So, but if he could clean that up this week, bro, I mean, though, his only person that he has to cover is Nico.
Yeah.
Nico Collins. So if you just double team him, I think you'll be all right. Houston's running offense, like the running backs, I think is like non-existent. So I think Denver should be able to, cover the. Wait, actually, Houston's favored.
Yeah. Oh wait, you have Houston favored?
Yeah, by 1.5.
I have Denver favored by 1.5.
Oh shoot. Okay.
When did you pull that?
Tuesday or Wednesday?
Oh, okay. I think mine might have been probably actually earlier then.
Oh, okay.
So maybe the line moved.
The line did move. See, and this is what we mean, man. This is what we mean when the high bettors come in.
I'm glad that line moved because I actually only had one upset. So now technically I have two if Houston's favored. Then technically I'm picking an underdog because I'm picking Denver. I think Houston's offense has looked better. Even though, we've been critical about that receiving core outside of Nico Collins, I do think there's been a couple people that have stepped up the last couple weeks. And then they haven't been able to run the ball that well, but Woody Marks has been productive out of catching out of the backfield. But having said that, I just don't trust them enough to beat Denver with the defense that they have, even without Pat Surtain, because, this is a Denver team that it's just not all defense. We saw them put up 44 points against, arguably the worst defense in the league, but still, that's still 44 points, So I got Denver in this one. And next game, Jacksonville Jaguars at the Las Vegas Raiders. Who do you got?
I think it's just pretty self-explanatory. I think we could just both pick the Jags and move on.
Okay, for sure. Same thing, right, with the next one, Saints at Rams? You got the Rams, right?
Yeah, I got the Rams.
13.5 spread is crazy.
Jesus Christ. And their starting QB, Rattler, just got benched.
Tyler, what? How do you pronounce that? Shu?
I don't even know. Some white boy. Just some white guy that's starting. But yeah, the Rams. Then moving on to what should be Sunday night football, but it's not. That's one of my complaints this season with the NFL. You guys' scheduling is super off. You guys can hire us and we do a better job to get you guys more viewers. But this should be Sunday night game, and unfortunately it's not. But Kansas City at Buffalo. Who do you got?
I'm taking the Chiefs. The Chiefs are rolling, and I think their defense is going to be a bad matchup for the Bills because I think if the Chiefs, which, their defensive coordinator, Spagnuolo, does a good job of it, is he kind of like what Belichick used to do, where he used to kind of like take away what you were best at. And I think the Bills this season have been relying a lot on their running game. I think some of those receivers have stepped up, but I still don't think they have like an explosive playmaker at the receiver position. So I think the Chiefs will find a way to limit that rushing attack of the Bills, and I think the Chiefs will beat the Bills.
So this week is a very, very trap. There's a lot of trap games, and it's a lot of clearly the favorites are, I think everybody's taking the favorites this week. I don't think anybody really has the underdog, but that's not to say that I don't like an underdog, but I do like the Bills in this position. Josh Allen has Mahomes' number during the regular season. I think he's 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes.
4-1.
4-1. Okay. See, so that's even more of a reason. And just Josh Allen finds a way to win against this team. But like you said, the offense for the Bills hasn't really stepped up. Keon Coleman hasn't really found his groove, and he just might not be a dog.
Shakir has stepped up, though.
Yeah, he has. But yeah, I have the Bills to win this.
Okay.
This to me seems like a trap game. There's a few other trap games in here.
By trap game, you mean like they're kind of setting you up to take the favorite, but it...
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if there's a team Kansas City has always found trouble with, it's the Bills. Even though the Bills, a lot of their defensive players are out. Again, Ed Oliver, Jesus Christ, put that boy in rice because, no pun intended, because he seems like he's healthy one week and then the next week he'll miss. And then this week he's going to miss this game. But yeah, I have the Bills. I think that this could be, one of those games to upset. And I've been pretty good with calling some upsets as of late. So, don't quote me though.
You know, it's funny. I always, in my, mentally, I always thought Mahomes has the Bills number. And that's because it's the opposite in the playoffs. The Mahomes is 4-0 against Josh Allen and the Bills in the playoffs. But in the regular season, Allen is 4-1. So I just mentally had that in my head, like, oh yeah, the Chiefs always beat the Bills. And then I had to go back and look it up. And I guess in the regular season, it's actually the opposite.
Yeah.
But we'll see, because this Chiefs team has looked good. But honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Bills win, because I think the Bills, when they play the Chiefs, maybe because they've never beat them in the playoffs in the regular season, they have that extra chip on their shoulder of dang, these guys beat us in the playoffs last year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we'll see. You're right though. That should have been the Sunday night football game instead of this next one. Seahawks at the Commanders.
Bro, the Commanders had one good season. Why do we keep seeing on primetime games? Give me the Seahawks, and that's it.
Yeah, Seahawks to win and Seahawks to cover the 3.5 points. Yeah, I agree with you. I've never been too high on this Commanders team. Obviously, Jaden Daniels is really good, but I feel like they're it's kind of died down a little bit. But at the beginning of the season, it's almost like they were prematurely ready to crown him
the next
the
big
next
thing
guy.
But we kind of predicted this for the NFC East. We were all three big teams, which not including the Giants, but the Eagles, they could be really good if there's no injuries, which as of lately has shown. But I think we kind of touched on the Commanders. If they stay healthy, they could be a force to be reckoned with. But injuries has just depleted what they had going on.
Yeah, that's true too.
So
maybe I was being a little bit critical of them because they have been dealing with a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
But moving on to Monday night's game, we got the Cardinals taking on your Dallas Cowboys. Where you going?
I'll just get this out the way. Let me go first. Kyler Murray has never lost at AT&T Stadium, either in high school, college, or in the pros. But that all ends Monday night.
That's a good stat. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's never lost, bro. Never lost. But he could potentially run all over this non-existent defense. We have a JV defense. We have JV players starting on our secondary. I think if I were to put some shoulder pads on, I could probably cover these players and cover just like Trayvon Diggs. He's also not going to be there. But our offense, I think our offense is going to be able to bail us out. I think at home our offense just seems, we'll probably damn near put up 50. You could quote me on that one because I think
50.
I think we're probably going to score 40 on the Cardinals, and we're going to potentially win. But the Cardinals always give us trouble. I have Cardinals to cover, but we're going to win by 1 point.
Okay. I actually have the Cardinals winning.
I'm not mad at it.
Because
I'm not mad.
They've lost 5 in a row, so they're due for a win.
Oh my God, they have?
Yeah.
Jeez.
They're coming off of a bye, so they've been studying the Cowboys. And honestly, I wasn't aware of the line moving on the Texans and the Texans and Denver game. So I was like, I need an upset. And I had picked this one because I think it's going to be close. And I'm glad you told me that stat because now I feel more confident about taking the Cardinals. But yeah, the Cardinals defense, I feel like, is actually pretty good. Like their stats might not reflect it all that much, but I feel like they're pretty good. And I think with the Cowboys, if you even have like a remotely good defense, that's kind of like a bad matchup for them because then they're forced to score a bunch of points, which they can, but it's like, you're asking a lot out of the Dak and that offense to do it week in and week out.
Yeah.
But I think this should be a fun, high-scoring game, though.
Yeah, and it definitely will be. Just the only thing, Dallas always seems to look like a Super Bowl contending team to any team that's under 500. So we could potentially end up winning this game. It's going to be a super high-scoring game, though. But the Cardinals offensively don't really have much. Marvin Harrison Jr., he has more Butterfingers than Butterfinger.
I think they have talent, but I don't think they've produced this season. Because they also have Trey McBride, who I like.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah. So they got players. It's just and I think that's one thing that people I've heard have been critical of Kyler because once he started missing time, that offense looked better.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But it should be a fun one either way. And that wraps up our picks for Week 9 of the NFL. Let's go ahead and move on to our fun little segment we got for this week. We're going to be giving out Midseason Awards. So we want to clarify that for these awards, it's not updating our preseason picks for the awards, but rather if the season were to end today, who would win the following awards? So, should we start with MVP or should we save it for last?
Save it for last.
Okay. So,
easy one to start off with would be Coach of the Year. Who would you give Coach of the Year to?
I'm going with Shane Steichen.
Yeah.
Honorable mention, Kyle Shanahan. Given all the injuries that the Niners have had and how them still having a good record, I think Kyle Shanahan would be second. But first, I think without a doubt, you have to go with Shane Steichen.
Yeah, Shane Steichen is automatic for me. I think runner-up would be Mike Vrabel.
Okay, that's another good one.
Yeah, just because of the way he's turned this team around. And everybody has always said, when you play for Mike Vrabel, you want to give it your all. And I think this Patriots team really reflects that.
Yeah, but I think what Shane Steichen has done, like nobody at the beginning of the season thought that the Colts would be in this position.
Yeah, everybody thought...
Shane Steichen didn't even think that. I'm just kidding.
He probably didn't. But, he turned this team around. It's like a night and day difference between this year and last year. And it's a totally, completely new, different Vanilla Jones.
Vanilla Vic?
Is it Vanilla Vic?
Yeah.
Vanilla Jones. Gee, I always chalk the name up.
Because Vanilla Jones doesn't sound cool. Vanilla Vic
does sound better.
But yeah, definitely Coach of the Year. I think Shane Steichen should be a lock if they continue this. Next one, do you want to do DPOY?
We can because this one pissed me off.
Who's your pick?
So this one's actually hard for me to pick, but if I had to go with anybody right now, I think it'd be Nick Bonito. I think he's a sleeper.
Okay.
I'm not sure. And last time I checked, he led the league in sacks. Actually, Brian Burns led the league in sacks.
With Myles Garrett.
With Myles Garrett as well.
Both have 10.
And I think Nick Bonito has 8 or 9.
Nick Bonito has 8.
Yeah. But just, I think he's shown a lot more with that. I think nobody really expected Denver to have a really good defense, but they do. But I think... Nick Bonito would be my defensive player of the year. And also, Michael Parsons, the recency bias, he gets out of Dallas, and you guys, he's the favorite to win this award. This just proves that Dallas has so much hate. That guy, Michael Parsons does not lead the league in any defensive stats, and yet he's the runner. He's the number one option to win.
Favorite?
He's the favorite to win defensive player of the year. some bullshit. That should piss me off, bro.
That is pretty crazy that he's favored.
If he were to be with the Cowboys, he wouldn't even be close to being the favorite. He'd be like plus 1,000. He's plus 175 right now.
Yeah. Well, if he was on the Cowboys, he wouldn't because he'd be on a defense that gives up that many points.
Yeah.
Or maybe not that many if he was there.
I don't even want to. Actually, one thing I do want to know: we might get Myles Garrett or the white boy from the Raiders, Max Crosby. So tune in because supposedly we're gonna do a crazy trade during the deadline.
Really? I think I have seen rumors of Max Crosby. I didn't see the Myles Garrett one.
Yeah.
But speaking of Myles Garrett, that's actually who I would give DPOY so far.
No matter
because he leads the league in sacks, and I still think he's the most impactful player defensively in the league. So DPOY so far, I'd give it to Myles Garrett. And then what's the next award? Do you have Offensive Player of the Year?
I do.
Who do you got?
So, if you guys saw our awards at the beginning of the season, I said that I wanted to see something change within, the criteria of the awards that are given out for the NFL. Kind of like the Ballon d'Or. Like the Ballon d'Or, the NFL MVP kind of have, it's like, what's the criteria to win the award? But for my Offensive Player of the Year, I would give it to Jackson Smith-Njigba, only because you will see who my MVP is.
I got the same one.
For real?
Yeah.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, so historically, Offensive Player of the Year usually goes to like the best offensive season by a player that isn't a quarterback. So based off of that criteria, I think I know who your MVP is now.
Yeah.
But for me, there hasn't been a clear standout QB this year. Like there's been a lot of really good seasons.
Yeah.
But because of that competition and there isn't like a clear-cut favorite, in my opinion, I feel like that opens the door for a wide receiver to win Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And for a non-quarterback to win MVP.
Yep.
So for me, I think JSN has been the most productive receiver in the league so far. He's averaging 117 yards a game, which he leads the league. And he has almost 100 more yards than second place Jamar Chase, who has played one more game than JSN. So he's been JSN has been insane this season. So that would be my Offensive Player of the Year if the season were to end today as well. And my MVP, Jonathan Taylor.
My MVP as well. And I think if you guys go back, like I said this MVP had to go to somebody different. I had originally picked Saquon Barkley.
Another curse.
But I did want the NFL to give this award to somebody else. But, this doesn't take away anything of the work that Jonathan Taylor has done. He's looked incredible. He could honestly win both awards, MVP and Offensive Player of the Year. But I just don't think the NFL would do that. But MVP definitely goes to Jonathan Taylor. Because if he is not on that team, I think this would be a completely different Colts team.
Yeah. He's been the best player on the best team, and he has 850 yards and 12 touchdowns, which he leads the NFL in both of those, while being extremely efficient, averaging 5.9 yards a carry, so almost 6 yards a carry. That's insane, bro.
Yeah. With
the volume that he has, he already has over 1,000 yards from scrimmage, so he's on track to have over 2,000 yards from scrimmage. So for a running back to win MVP, historically, it's like they have to have this insane season. I think last time we said it was AP with 2,000 yards. So right now, if he gets 2,000 yards from scrimmage and over 20 touchdowns, and the Colts are crazy. And the Colts have are up there in the record, especially when nobody thought the Colts would be here. I think you have to give it to Jonathan Taylor. Yeah,
and like I said, I would not be surprised if he wins both awards, but I think, the NFL wouldn't do that. I think one thing to note, though, the favorite right now is Patrick Mahomes, which is nasty.
Honestly, though, with the way it's heading, if the Chiefs keep winning games and his numbers, stay the same, because his numbers are starting to pick up. It's kind of like it would take Jonathan Taylor to get over 2K yards.
Yeah.
Like if he doesn't get 2K yards, and Mahomes has like another Mahomes season, they're gonna give it to Mahomes for sure.
I don't get sold by that. Like I just don't.
Yeah, it still has like, if we're like projecting, like right now, I mean, 17-4 is still really good.
And bro, but he like okay, look at it in like a voter's in like eyes. What is he lead the lead in? Nothing. He's second in yards thrown. He's tied for TD's thrown. His QBR is third overall.
I hadn't noticed that he's top 5 in those big categories, all of them.
Yeah,
he's top 5 in yards, touchdowns, least amount of interceptions, and QBR. Dang, he's been really stepping it up. Because I remember
that is pretty good.
You're like, oh shit, let me change my answer right now. No, but yeah,
Jesus,
I hadn't noticed.
Christ.
He really picked it up though, because at the beginning of the year, his numbers weren't that.
They were not.
And the thing is, they're playing better too now, and they look really good ever since Rashid Rice came back.
Bro, like, come on, look at who he had to play though. The Raiders, and then Washington.
Yeah. And
then Jackson. Well, they lost against Jacksonville, but man, I don't want to see that. Like that. It's too boring. It's a boring like here you go. Like just take your award.
That's elevating his GOAT status though. You don't want to see him pass Brady as the GOAT, or you'd rather Brady keep being the GOAT.
That's a hard one.
Really? Not for me. After all those years of the Patriots beating the Steelers and having to see Brady was Mahomes before Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like always winning, always making it to the Super Bowl every year. And honestly, what I hated about the Patriots is I thought they were kind of boring to watch. Like it would just be Brady. Like, well, I mean, like once Randy Moss left.
Yeah.
Because then it became like, they did have that one fun year with Aaron Hernandez and Gronk.
What I was going to tell you.
That year was fun to watch. But like outside of that, it was basically just like Gronk doing his thing. And then like they had a bunch of like kind of like those slot receivers like Edelman and Amendola.
And then those running backs that just
for me personally, I wasn't a fan of that style, so that's why I hated on them, especially because they would always beat my Steelers too. But that's another reason why I root for Mahomes, because I want him to pass up Brady. So maybe that's my
and he is
bias.
Funner to watch than Brady.
Yeah, like
he does play with a little. He plays with like that backyard football kind of.
Yeah, because we only really saw Brady really like throwing bombs when Moss was there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like outside of that, it was a little bit more like, short to intermediate passes, picking defenses apart. Kind of like what Rodgers does now, but.
Yeah. Yo, did you see that arm on Rodgers is insane, bro.
I used to be like, yeah, bro, Rodgers is better than Brady, because I think he was a better quarterback in his prime, Rodgers, which is a whole other debate. But as far as like arm talent, I think he has like
one of the best arms ever.
Yeah.
Because bro, what I saw on Sunday, I saw him throw that like it was like a 60-yard throw.
Yeah.
I was like, no way. And mind you, Jalen Hurts tried to do a throw like that in the Super Bowl, and it only reached like 20 yards. So. Grandpa threw it farther than him. 3 times further.
How to mention Jalen Hurts in there, son?
I just hate him, bro.
Nah, like I said last week, that's my quarterback. four, like out of, I think 6 out of my fantasy leagues, I think I have him in 4. Because he's just,
Jesus
bro,
Christ.
he's a cheat code in fantasy.
He is a cheat code in fantasy, but again, I checked the stats because I was like, just to, find a way to hate on him this episode, because he's on a bye. He leads the league in nothing. He leads the league in like no quarterback stats.
Yeah, nah, he's definitely not like. Maybe next week we'll debate where Jalen Hurts ranks amongst the top quarterbacks.
My God,
that'd be. I'd be interested to hear your take on that.
Let me see. In this MVP rating, he's plus 2,200. You know who's over him? Where's Dak Prescott? Oh, hell nah. What the? Oh, hell. You know what? That's it. 'Cause we're done. Plus 9,000 for my boy Dakota Prescott.
They have a losing record.
Respect, bro. But he's been playing like, I guess that's true.
It's MVP. They always prioritize winning, even in the NFL. But I'll give you a minute. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. All right, guys, that wraps up our NFL video for this week. As always, thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys have any ideas that you guys would like us to cover. And yeah, thanks always for the support.
And remember, don't quote us
unless we're right.
Peace.